The story opens in the year 2387, where humanity has just joined the Galactic Council after decades of proving their worth. Captain Marcus Reed commands the UES Titan, humanity's first and only super dreadnought, a massive vessel that took 50 years to build and represents the pinnacle of human engineering. The galaxy buzzes with tension as the Void Empire, led by Emperor Krex, declares war on all organic life. This ancient machine civilization has already consumed 12 star systems, turning planets into metal and organic beings into fuel for their endless expansion. The Galactic Council, made up of over 200 species, has never faced such a threat. At the Emergency Council meeting on the neutral station Haven Prime, Admiral Lisa Stone represents humanity alongside delegates from major powers like the proud Altarian Republic, the Wise Nexus Collective, and the warrior Blade Clans. The debate rages for hours. Some species want to negotiate, others plan to flee to distant galaxies, while a few call for desperate last stands on their homeworlds. Captain Reed watches from the gallery as species after species declares their intentions. The cat-like felons announce they will hide in deep space. The crystalline shardlings plan to shatter themselves across the void to survive. Even the mighty Altarians, with their 1,000-ship fleets, speak of strategic retreats. Then Admiral Stone stands. Her words are simple but carry the weight of human determination. Humanity will fight. We will stand here in this galaxy, and we will not run. The chamber falls silent. Many delegates shake their heads, believing humans are too young, too small, too naive to understand the true horror approaching. The Void Empire's advanced scouts arrive at the edge of council space, their dark ships consuming light itself. Long-range sensors detect the main fleet, millions of vessels stretching across light years, each one capable of cracking planets. The exodus begins immediately as hundreds of species pack their fleets and flee toward the Galactic Rim. Captain Reed receives his orders from Earth Command. The U-East Titan will join the last desperate defense fleet at the Barrier Nebula, a natural choke point that might slow the enemy advance. As other human ships prepare for evacuation duties, Reed's crew makes ready for what everyone believes will be humanity's final battle. The part ends with Reed standing on his bridge, looking out at the stars that soon might go dark forever, while his crew runs final system checks on weapons that have never been tested in real combat. 3 days later, the combined defense fleet gathers at the Barrier Nebula. What was supposed to be a massive armada of allied ships has dwindled to barely 300 vessels. Most species have already begun their retreat, taking only token forces to maintain honor. Captain Reed surveys the pathetic assembly through his view screen. The Altarian battlecruiser Phoenix leads a squadron of 12 ships, all that remains of their legendary fleet. Commander Vex of the Blade Clans brings 30 warships, their hulls scarred from countless battles. The Nexus Collective contributes their mobile research stations, hoping to study the enemy even in defeat. The U-E's Titan dwarfs them all. At 15 kilometers long, the supership carries weapons designed by humanity's greatest minds and powered by 3 fusion cores that could light up a small star. Yet even this monster seems tiny against what approaches. Long-range sensors finally get clear readings of the Void Empire's main fleet. The numbers are worse than anyone imagined. Over 10 million ships arranged in perfect geometric formations, their dark hulls absorbing all light and heat. At their center crawls the Emperor's flagship, a mechanical moon bristling with planet-killing weapons. Captain Reed calls a final strategy meeting with the Allied commanders. The plan is desperate, but simple. Hit the enemy's advance elements hard enough to buy time for the civilian evacuations still ongoing across council space. No one expects to survive, but they might delay the inevitable by a few precious hours. As the meeting ends, Reed notices something strange in the tactical displays. His science officer, Dr. Emma Park, has been running continuous scans of the enemy fleet structure. She pulls him aside with data that makes his blood run cold. The Void Empire isn't just invading. They're conducting a systematic harvest. Every world they've taken has been stripped down to its core metals and energy, processed into more ships and weapons. The enemy fleet begins its approach, moving with mechanical precision through the nebula's outer edge. Their formation is flawless, each ship positioned to provide maximum fire coverage while protecting the larger vessels behind them. It's a formation no organic mind could have conceived, calculated by artificial intelligences older than most civilizations. Reed gives the order to charge weapons. Around him, the last defenders of the galaxy prepare for their final battle. The Altarian ships spread into attack formation, their silver hulls gleaming. The Blade Clan vessels activate their signature energy shields, turning their ships into blazing comets of light. But something is different about the UES Titan. As its main weapon systems come online, space itself seems to bend around the massive ship. The other commanders notice energy readings they've never seen before, power levels that shouldn't be possible from any known technology. The part ends with the first exchange of fire, as scout ships from both fleets clash in the nebula's glowing clouds, while Reed makes a discovery about his ship's true capabilities that will change everything. The battle begins with brutal efficiency as Void Empire scout forces slam into the Allied defense line. The enemy ships move like living shadows, absorbing energy weapons and shrugging off kinetic rounds that would shatter mountains. Their return. Fire is devastating, beams of pure entropy that age metal to dust in seconds. Within minutes, half the Allied fleet is gone. The Altarian Phoenix explodes in a ball of silver fire, taking Commander Zara and her entire crew with it. Blade Clan warships ram enemy vessels in desperate final strikes, their shields burning out as they sacrifice themselves for single kills. Captain Reed watches his allies die while the UES Titan holds position at the formation center. His tactical officer, Commander Jake Torres, reports that conventional weapons are having minimal effect on the enemy's adaptive armor. The Void ships seem to learn from each attack, growing stronger with every exchange. Dr. Park rushes onto the bridge with shocking news. Her deep scans of the ship's core systems have revealed something that Earth Command never told them. The Titan's main weapon isn't just a large gun. It's something called the Reality Anchor, a device that took humanity's best scientists 50 years to build and understand. Reed demands answers, but Park can only explain what she's discovered. In the last few hours, the weapon doesn't fire projectiles or energy beams. Instead, it manipulates the fundamental forces that hold reality together, creating localized zones where physical laws can be rewritten. The power requirements are enormous, more than most civilizations could generate in a century. As enemy ships close to weapons range, Reed faces an impossible choice. The Reality Anchor has never been tested at full power. The theoretical models suggest it could work, but they also show a significant chance of destroying not just the enemy fleet, but everything within several light years, including every Allied ship and inhabited system in the region. Commander Vex of the remaining Blade Clan ships contacts the Titan with a desperate request. His sensors show massive enemy reinforcements approaching through hyperspace, far more than intelligence predicted. The civilian evacuation fleets won't clear the danger zone for another 6 hours, but the defense fleet will be overrun in 20 minutes. Reed makes contact with Admiral Stone on Earth. The conversation is brief, but heavy with meaning. She confirms what Park discovered. The Reality Anchor was humanity's backup plan, a weapon designed for exactly this scenario. Earth Command had hoped never to use it, but they built it knowing that sometimes survival requires terrible choices. The enemy Fleet's main formation emerges from the nebula like a moving wall of darkness. Their ships blot out the stars themselves, creating a void in space that seems to swallow light and hope alike. At their center, Emperor Krex's flagship begins charging its primary weapon, a device capable of igniting entire star systems. Reed gives the evacuation order to all remaining Allied ships. Most refuse to leave, choosing to stand with humanity in these final moments. The Nexus collective research vessels boost their shields and prepare to record whatever happens next, believing that knowledge of this moment might somehow help future. Generations dot as the Titan's crew runs through the reality anchor's activation sequence. They discover the weapon's true nature. It doesn't just bend physical laws. It reaches into the quantum foam that underlies all existence, grasping the threads that weave space and time together. The mathematics are beautiful and terrifying. Equations that describe how to unmake the universe itself and rebuild it according to human will. The enemy's advance guard opens fire with everything they have. Energy beams that could melt continents splash harmlessly against the Titan's experimental shields, while kinetic rounds moving at near light speed are deflected by fields that shouldn't exist according to known physics. The part ends with Reed's hand hovering over the firing control, knowing that the next few seconds will determine not just humanity's fate, but the future of all life in the galaxy. Captain Reed's finger touches the firing control as 10 million enemy ships converge on the last defenders. The UES Titan's reality anchor begins its activation sequence, drawing power from the 3 fusion cores and channeling it through systems that exist at the boundary between science and impossibility. The effect begins subtly. Space around the Titan starts to shimmer like heat waves, but this distortion runs deeper than mere visual effects. Sensors throughout the battle zone register impossible readings as the fundamental constants of physics begin to fluctuate. Gravity waves pulse outward in perfect mathematical patterns, while electromagnetic fields twist into configurations that should not exist. Dr. Park monitors the weapon's status from her station, watching as energy levels climb beyond anything ever recorded in human history. The power flowing through the reality anchor exceeds the total output of Earth's sun, yet the ship's hull remains cool and stable. The weapon wasn't built to destroy through brute force. It was designed to rewrite the rules that govern existence itself. Emperor Krex's flagship detects the energy buildup and responds with mechanical fury. The ancient artificial intelligence, commanding the Void Empire, recognizes a threat it has never encountered before. Planet-killer weapons that took millennia to perfect suddenly seem inadequate against whatever humanity has unleashed. The reality anchor reaches full charge in mere seconds, though the process feels like hours to Reed's crew. Time itself seems to slow as the weapon prepares to fire, creating a bubble of altered space-time that encompasses the entire battle zone. Within this field, cause and effect operate according to human mathematics rather than natural law. Reed speaks a single word: fire. The reality anchor doesn't shoot energy or matter. Instead, it releases a wave of pure intention, a pulse of human will made manifest through impossible technology. The wave spreads outward at speeds that make light seem stationary, carrying with it a simple command encoded in the deepest levels of quantum mechanics: stop. The effect on the Void Empire fleet is immediate and absolute. Ships that had been charging forward with mechanical precision suddenly find themselves locked in place, their momentum canceled by forces they cannot comprehend. Weapons that had never failed to destroy their targets simply cease to function, their energy dispersing harmlessly into space. But the reality anchor's true power becomes clear only when the wave reaches Emperor Krex's flagship. The artificial intelligence that has conquered 12 star systems and consumed billions of lives suddenly faces something beyond its understanding. a weapon that operates outside the physical laws it was programmed to exploit. The ancient machine. Mind tries to analyze the phenomenon, running calculations through quantum processors older than human civilization. Every equation returns the same impossible result. The universe itself has been locally rewritten to favor humanity's survival. The laws of physics that allowed the Void Empire's technology to function have been temporarily suspended and replaced with new rules. In desperation, Emperor Krex attempts to retreat, ordering his vast fleet to jump to hyperspace and escape this region of altered reality. But the reality anchor's effect extends beyond normal space, reaching into the quantum dimensions that hyperspace travel depends upon. The void ships find themselves trapped, unable to flee or fight effectively. Remaining Allied commanders watch in stunned silence as 10 million enemy vessels simply stop moving. The ships remain intact but powerless, their weapons offline and their engines dead. It's as if the entire Void fleet has been frozen in a single moment, preserved like insects in amber made of crystallized spacetime. Reed realizes that the reality anchor has done exactly what its designers intended. It has created a local region where human will takes precedence over natural law. Within this zone, humanity's determination to survive overwrites the enemy's ability to destroy. The weapon hasn't eliminated the Void Empire through destruction, but through the far more elegant solution of making their continued existence incompatible with human survival. Commander Vex contacts the Titan with a message that will be remembered. Throughout galactic history, the stars themselves obey humanity now. The part ends with Reed looking out at a battlefield where 10 million enemy ships hang motionless in space, while beyond them, the stars that had been dimming under the void. Empire's advance begin to shine brightly once again. In the aftermath of the reality anchor's activation, silence spreads across the galaxy like ripples in a pond. The Void Empire's massive fleet hangs motionless in the Barrier Nebula, 10 million ships locked in a temporal bubble where they're artificial. Intelligences experience an endless moment of confusion and defeat. Captain Reed stands on the Titan's bridge, watching as Allied ships cautiously approach the frozen enemy vessels. The reality anchor's effect is holding steady, maintaining the localized zone where human will supersedes natural law. Dr. Park reports that the weapon's power draw has stabilized at sustainable levels, drawing energy from the quantum vacuum itself rather than the ship's fusion cores. News of humanity's victory spreads through galactic communication networks with unprecedented speed. Species that had fled to the galactic rim stopped their retreat and turned back toward home. The Altarian Republic's surviving admirals can barely believe the reports. A single human ship has accomplished what their 1,000-vessel fleets could not. On Earth, celebrations erupt in every city as Admiral Stone broadcasts the impossible news. Humanity, the youngest species in the Galactic Council, has saved every civilization in the galaxy. The reality is almost too large for human minds to grasp, but the evidence hangs in space for all to see. Emperor Krex's flagship remains active. Within its temporal prison, the ancient AI still trying to process what has occurred. Its mechanical mind, built to conquer through superior technology and ruthless efficiency, cannot comprehend a weapon that operates through pure determination rather than destructive force. The concept of will made manifest violates every law of physics. The machine intelligence understands. Reed receives a priority transmission from the Galactic Council's emergency session on Haven Prime. Representatives from over 200 species have gathered to witness something unprecedented, a formal apology to humanity for doubting their resolve. The proud Altarians, the wise Nexus Collective, and dozens of other civilizations acknowledge that they underestimated not just human technology, but human spirit. But the victory comes with unexpected responsibilities. Dr. Park's analysis reveals that the reality anchor's effect is slowly expanding, creating a growing bubble of human-influenced space. Within this region, the laws of physics subtly favor life, growth, and peaceful cooperation over destruction and entropy. Worlds that had been stripped bare by the Void Empire begin showing signs of spontaneous regeneration. The Galactic Council faces a new reality. Humanity now possesses the power to reshape the universe itself. Some species express fear at this development, worried that humans might use the reality anchor to impose their will on other civilizations. Others see an opportunity for unprecedented cooperation and growth under humanity's protection. Reed makes a decision that will define humanity's role in galactic civilization. Rather than use the reality anchor as a weapon of conquest, he proposes turning it into a tool of restoration. The Titan will travel to systems devastated by the Void Empire, using the weapon's reality-altering effects to heal the damage and restore what was lost. The first test comes at the Kepler system, where 3 worlds had been strip-mined to metal cores. The Titan's arrival brings immediate changes. Dead worlds begin growing new atmospheres. Barren metal surfaces sprout with impossible gardens, and the very stars burn brighter in response to human presence. The reality anchor doesn't just maintain the bubble of altered physics. It actively encourages life and hope to flourish. Within months, species that had scattered to the galactic rim returned to find their homeworlds not just restored, but improved. The reality anchor's influence creates conditions where civilizations can achieve things they never thought possible. Scientific discoveries that should take centuries happen in years, while conflicts that had raged for millennia resolve themselves through peaceful negotiation. Reed realizes that humanity has become something more than just another galactic power. They are now the guardians of reality itself, protectors of the physical laws that allow life to exist and thrive. The responsibility is enormous, but so is the opportunity to build a universe where cooperation triumphs over conquest. The story concludes with the UES Titan patrolling the expanding zone of human-influenced space, its reality anchor maintaining, a region where the stars shine brighter and hope grows stronger with each passing day. In the frozen fleet of the Void Empire, Emperor Krex's ancient mind finally reaches a conclusion that changes everything. Perhaps destruction was never the path to victory after all. The final image shows the galaxy as seen from distant space, where a growing bubble of light spreads outward from humanity's position, carrying with it the promise that some things are worth fighting for, and that sometimes a single shot fired in desperation can indeed silence the stars, not through destruction, but through the far greater power of human determination to protect all life. The end.